You're watching CTV.
Gentlemen and women of the press, you're all welcome. It's our pleasure at this sitting to give a brief preliminary report about the goings-on today, the day of days in our national history. 1. Arrival of materials and INEC officials. From across the country, reports of the arrival of both sensitive and non-sensitive materials were marked as belated and delayed, as many of the INEC ad hoc and regular staff were not present at least by 8:30 a.m. as prescribed. Remarkably, logistic issues around inability to duly sort out and deploy materials from the INEC National Office, especially from the ward collation centers in the various government areas, especially were spotted. There are reports signaling sabotage as some state officials made the arrival of materials difficult. For instance, in Kogi State, North Central, the roads leading to some opposition strongholds in the state were cut off by the state government, alleging that it will help prevent threats to security in the areas. In Enugu State, southeast Nigeria, it was alleged that some corps members already trained as ad hoc staff declined to participate in the process due to threats of attack and violence at their various polling units. In fact, in a recreation club opposite stadium, PU Club, code 14-04-13-1016, Ogui Township Ward, Enugu, and in so many other areas, this move affected the turnout of officials as the PUs were only mounted and set up by 12:42 p.m. This has made many eligible voters vacate their polling units without voting. In Abia, North Abia State, no single INEC official had arrived in almost all the polling units as of 12:05 p.m. This is also the same for Newi, Anambra State, and in most parts of Warri Delta State. It is grossly unacceptable. The same situation was noticed in Okota, Okpebi, and in Lagos Island, Southwest, where many of the polling units had no INEC official in place to attend to the teeming electorates. So far, the reports from other parts of Southwest reflect very gloomy turnout of ad hoc staff, as there are long queue of very eager voters to cast their votes. 2. Accreditation and verification of voters. In most of the polling units where the arrival of materials and ACT staff were on time, the bimodal voters accreditation system has worked fairly with minor hitches recorded so far. Voters whose fingerprints were not duly captured were authenticated with the facial recognition feature of the beavers. However, there is an urgent need to deploy more beavers machines in some PUs where the queued voters are more than 1,000 persons waiting to be accredited. For example, in the polling unit 02 to Durumi 2 Primary School here in Abuja, only one beavers machine was deployed to more than 3,000 electors who have been online waiting for accreditation since 7 a.m. In polling unit 11, Okubornu Njua Ward, Boki Local Government, Cross River State, voter accreditation was disrupted by some thugs who forcefully snatched the beavers machine from the presiding officer. According to some of our observers in the polling unit, this had happened because of the absence of police and other security agents in the area. 3. Voting. There are many odious and irregular happenings across the polling units in the country, with reports of vote buying, inducements, and threats amounting to violence. For instance, in Lagos State, thugs were spotted threatening voters in Fahintola Giwa Street, Agoda, in Surulere, if they did not vote for the APC candidate. There's also a case of omission of the Labour Party in the ballot paper for Lagos West Senatorial District. This has discouraged many of the voters in the district who have been protesting this omission since morning. There is also a protest ongoing in some parts of Lekki, as in some parts of Iketa, as a result of the disruption of the process by some hoodlums who came to disrupt the electorate at the PUs. Also in a polling unit in Abola, Obisanya Junction, Mafuloku area of Lagos State, thugs have reportedly invaded the polling units, brandishing weapons of all kinds while dispersing the electorate and destroying the non-sensitive and sensitive materials belonging to the INEC. All of these are happening despite the huge presence of security personnel alongside INEC officials who appear to be helpless. Aside from these, those duly accredited have voted seamlessly without any form of interference across some polling units as recorded so far. General comments. As we remarked yesterday while launching our situation room, we want to reiterate that INEC has a responsibility to organize and deliver a free, fair, credible, secure, and inclusive election. Reports so far are not encouraging and call for urgent troubleshooting and immediate solution across the states. Lagos State is already showing signs of collusion with the officials as electorates in some quarters are being disallowed from not only getting accreditation, but also being denied voting by thugs despite the huge presence of military and paramilitary agencies. We recommend that the authorities move in swiftly to respond to these exigencies and ensure that the rights of Nigerians to exercise their franchise are unconditionally respected. We put it to INEC and her collaborators that the well-being of this nation and the smooth run of this program rests squarely on its staff and members, and they owe Nigeria the responsibility of ensuring that the election is free, credible, and fair. That is also our dream, and so help us, God, achieve this dream through Christ.
You are watching CTV.